Welcome to Camtasia. This sample project will provide a quick tour and get you started. If you're looking for more in-depth tutorials that will walk you through the entire process of recording, editing, and sharing your videos, check out the video tutorials on our website. Right now, you're in the Camtasia editor. The editor is made up of the timeline, where you can arrange and edit your clips, the canvas, which is your video preview, and the tools panel, where your media is stored, along with shapes, animations, effects, and more. At the top of the tools panel, there's a button to launch the Camtasia Recorder, a tool that captures all of the action on your computer screen. When you're done recording, each clip will be placed in your media bin and on your timeline. If there are parts of your recording you don't need to show, you can trim them from the end or cut them from the middle. If you'd like to add other media, titles, or effects, drag them from the Tools panel to the timeline. If you choose an effect, such as an animation or transition, the clips on the timeline will highlight, showing you where it can be applied. While you're working on your project, use the canvas to position your media and preview any edits you make. You can use the Properties panel to fine-tune your media and effects, such as positioning an object to an exact location, rotating an object, or even changing its scale and opacity. When you're satisfied with your video, produce it either as a file on your computer or share it directly to popular web destinations. Now it's time for you to try. To get started, experiment with this sample project. Try deleting or adding clips to the timeline, or maybe add a transition or effect to something that's already there. You can always open a fresh copy of this project from the Help menu. When you're comfortable, start a new project to create your very own video. If you're looking to do more with your project, like adding animations, quizzes, or even importing your own video, check out the tutorials on our webpage. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, this is Sean McCarthy with Data 620 UMUC, assignment 9.1, Dr. Brandon Phillips, spring 2017. This is assignment 9.1, using Tableau visualization of data, and I decided to focus on understanding violent crime in the USA over a 20-year period. And per the instructions for the assignment, I focused on about 20 years of data, as you can see in this Excel data file that I uploaded. The violent crime rate is by volume, as you can see there. And then the indicators are population, USA, median household income, the unemployment rate on an annual basis, and the consumer price index. Here's a couple of notes on the statistics, how violent crime is defined. You can read that there. And how the FBI and the other agencies kind of calculate their statistics. That's just for information use only. So what's my motivation? In a professional setting, I interacted with some police officers, some FBI agents, and they anecdotally were telling me that violent crime in the United States is down, and in fact is at historical lows. And I wanted to juxtapose this with some of the information I hear in the media or from other people where they say violent crime is at a high rate, it's at record highs. So that's kind of like what I wanted to look at, and using Tableau I input the data and hopefully can forecast some things. So this is the first Tableau file, and it's just an XY scatter plot. We have violent crime and population with some trend lines. This is very clear that despite the fact that you have a higher population every year, the violent crime rates are going down. And that's very significant because I can definitely forecast in the future that every year the United States are going to add people. And even though we continue to add people, which makes it a larger sample size, the violent crime rate is going down, which conversely says that 20 years ago, when this data was starting, you had less people and a higher crime rate. So proportionally, 20 years ago, the United States was a pretty violent place in terms of the violent crime rate. So now, looking at the trends, more people and less violent crime. That's very significant. This is the second slide in my kind of storyboard for Tableau on this project. And as I just mentioned here, you can see how population goes up, and you can just see how violent crime is going down. So that's a significant trend. And you can see some of the other indicators there and variables as they interact with each other. This is a time series, just a basic time series, and you can see the violent crime is trending downwards, and I can predict that it will continue to trend downwards, as I'll show you in the next slide. Population, I can forecast will trickle up. That's just definite. Consumer price index is definitely trickling up. Here you have unemployment rate and median household income. So despite the fact that you had unemployment rate dip down, you still had kind of median household incomes are flat. This is an important slide here because I wanted to look at a subset of the data, and this is 6 years, the final 6 years of this data set. But this was a rough 6 years. This is the Great Recession in the United States. And if there was ever a time when you would think that violent crime would increase, it would be during an incredibly damaging economic downturn. And here, clearly, violent crime is going down despite the fact that you have unemployment rate doubling in 1 to 2 years, and that you have median household incomes are going down and flat. So I can definitely forecast that the violent crime will be trending down. Unemployment rate will be trending down or stay flat, and that median household incomes, well, that's going to be an interesting aspect of where we see that. Finally, I wanted to look at just a dual axis graph here, violent crime and consumer price index. And that's all the time I have. Let's get to the references here. Bureau of Labor Statistics, FBI, and the U.S. Department of Commerce. Thank you very much, and talk to you later.